Hey guys, Blue Devil here again. I'm going to do some advanced settings this time. Got a lot of people asking for RVR and run 2 mobs. I'm going to go in the settings here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to copy our abilities over to RVR. Doing a Slayer here. I've got 6 abilities. One's a pole, 5 are melee. What you want to do is once your abilities are all made, you just come down here and click copy PvE to RVR. Pretty simple there, and then the same thing pops up on the other side. Or you can add your own, like for Slayer you probably want to go with more AoE than single target for RVR. That way you can hit more targets and get more RPs and hopefully stay alive, but you never know. After you do that, we're going to go ahead and go to the advanced combat setup here. A couple things that we need to set up for a Slayer definitely. Run up to targets, have that clicked. And then chase fleeing targets, have that clicked also. I also have do open RVR. You never know if you're going to be out in the field and you're flagged and someone comes up upon you. You probably want to kill them or at least fight back so you don't look like a noob. Next thing you'd probably want to set up is your max distance from your path. This is 1,000 units, about 100 meters in game. That's pretty far. You can put it somewhere close down to 500 and you'd be safe. Next, you want to go down to the RVR scenario advanced options. You want to run up to the targets also, so you want to click that. And chase fleeing targets, you want to have that clicked. One thing I wouldn't do is fight enemy pets. It's a bad idea. You don't look real good when you're just fighting pets. You want to run up to the guy and kill him. If you're playing a healer, heal surrounding allies. You want that clicked. Same thing applies for the run to 1,000 meters. In a scenario that's a little extreme, you would be reaching the back line if you could target that far, but 500 is probably going to be best. So once you have those settings put in, we're going to go ahead and go to the pathing tab. Make sure everything is right for our PvE path, so when we load up to the scenario, we can either be doing Jack's do nothing path or be running a path that you've made. I've got a path here that is these mountain squigs. It's a short little path, but it's effective. Next we want to go down to looting and gathering. You don't need to have this on for RVR. It can actually slow you down. Stuck when detect, you need to have that clicked. It's important because if you're stuck, big problems. Next thing we want to do is go down to the RVR scenario window. This is going to have everything that we need for the RVR scenario. First thing I want you guys to look at is do RVR scenario. This needs to be clicked. And then do stuck detection in RVR. That needs to be clicked also. I saw a post earlier, a person was having problems after scenario. This is where you guys are going to want to change some settings. If you have a longer load time, you're going to want to up this back to normal paths. Half a minute's probably good, a minute is even better, but then you're going to slow down on your actual leveling time. Same with joining a scenario. You can wait so many seconds. This is important if you have a slow computer, guys. Next, you need to set your buttons. The first one here, I'm going to go ahead and move the screen over, is the Q button. Jack has little screenshots here that show you what you need to click. Once you press OK, you're going to have a T come up. See the T moving around the screen? You're going to want to go to Jack's little thing and press escape. Once you press escape, it's set. The color does not matter. I do mine just so you can see where I'm clicking and I know exactly. The next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to click this button and it's going to open up. We're going to have to set the join all. So we click on join all, press the OK button, and come down here to the join all. I try to get it on the color, not the actual brown or anything, and press escape. Escape. There we go. The right arrow. I mentioned this in a post last week. And you're going to want to come up here and set the right arrow. Same with the join Q button. Come down here and cancel. Now you may want to ask, Y cancel, and you will see in just a minute when I start my path. This is when you die, it'll join again, and then you'll press cancel. You'll see. So once we have those set, the next thing we need to look at is what order our scenarios in. So when you are in the main tier, let's say I'm in dwarf, the first scenario that pops up is going to be a dwarf scenario. Click join scenario. Hey look, Gates of Ekrund. Click the right arrow and take note of which scenarios. Northern Watch, then Kane's Embrace. We're going to need this info. You may want to write it down when you're setting up your paths. We're going to go into the RVR path setup. Now this is going to look real confusing because these do not have names. But it's actually pretty simple. Number 1 is the first scenario you see when you click that join button. So we're going to click that, and that's going to be Gates of Ekrund. Okay, so I'm going to go to my main path here, and I'm going to load up a path. And you're going to see Raptors Warpaths, and I'm going to choose my Ekrund supply path. I'm going to click open. Now I've loaded up a path. Pay attention to this, because this means nothing. So don't pay attention to it. We're going to close out, and we're going to go to return path for number 1. We're going to load up the path, and we're going to set the return. We're going to do that for the 3 paths. Gates of Ekrund is number 1, Northern Watch is number 2, and Kane's Embrace is number 3. Now this is for me. If you're playing Northern, or you're in Empire, Northern Watch could be your first, Kane's Embrace second, Gates of Ekrund third. But you need to pay attention and know what is what. Then you want to click Use Join All button. That way you join all the scenarios. You can clear all the paths with 1, or you can do it manually. And to do it manually, you just click on it, clear path, and hit X. This will turn to gray rather than green, and you do the same for return. Let's double check all our settings. Another thing Jack set up was use teleportation. You want to set this up. That's about 166 range, which is almost double of what people can cast. Make sure looting's not set, no potions, I don't heal, no buffs yet. Pathing, make sure your PvE path is there. Combat, that looks all good. So we're going to go ahead and close out of everything, and we're going to hit F6. Now you're going to see a little different window here. This is your PvE path, and then your RVR path. Since we're in PvP, we're going to want to click nearest waypoint, and a couple things are going to happen. You're going to see my arrow go in the right hand corner and click on the join button. It's then going to click on the join all button, and then after that you're going to see it click on the cancel right there. That's in case you've already been queued and you die and it attempts to re-queue. That way it makes sure you're queued. Now I'm going to run up to my target here, and I'm going to attack it. Now hopefully I die, because I'm going to show you guys something that happens when your screen resolution has been changed when Macro Goblin is open. What happens is you can't click release. You click just below it, and it's a problem. It mostly happens when players change their screen resolution when you have Macro Goblin open. I did this so I can show you guys, and it looks like I lived. But let's go kill myself. Jump down the cliff. There we go. Okay. Now it should wait about 15 seconds before clicking respawn. Now see, it attempted to click, but it can't, and that's because I messed with my screen resolution. To fix that, I need to close Macro Goblin, fix my screen resolution, and then attempt to click again.